Hello visuals, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, the day of the week we like to get damn right down and nerdy. We either do a comic book little review or a Funko Pop collection or Lego set reveals or whatever the fuck it is we're doing. As long as it's beautiful, as long as it's nerdy, we like to friggin' get our teeth sunk into it and chat about it. This weird, wonderful, beautiful, nerdy world of ours is quite literally the best thing to fucking happen since sliced. They always said it's the best thing since sliced bread. I actually like to eat massive chunks of bread on its own. Like, if you just give me a baguette uncut or whatever, I'll just eat the shit out of that. It doesn't need to be sliced. I mean, sliced bread's great, but I'll take that all day. I'll also take a dick, apparently. It's visuals. It is time now to do my favourite TV shows of all time. Now, a couple of weeks ago, was it last week, was it? Whenever it was, I did my favourite films of all time. I've gone now and done my favourite TV shows. Now, Jesus friggin' Christ, this was maybe just as annoying as films. Now, once again, just like the film, it's not necessarily the best TV shows of all time, you know, to popular opinion. It's my personal top 10 favourite, and if you can see on this side here are all the shows that I had to leave off the top 10. Like, if I quickly run down, this is how fucking crazy it was. I've missed off The Bear. I absolutely adore The Bear so friggin' much. I've left off stuff like Band of Brothers. Absolutely amazing. Gravity Falls, One Piece, which I've completely fell in love with. Ted Lasso. I've left off Ted Lasso and I friggin' adore that so friggin' much. How many times do I need to say friggin'? What We Do in the Shadows, a fantastic comedy that my girlfriend got me into and I've completely fell in love with. The Daredevil TV show, Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was so friggin' good. Rick and Morty, an animated show that's just so fucking beautiful. There's so many TV shows that I've had to miss off and I've had to leave. Oh, and it's an absolute pain in the friggin' ass, but I've still got a really cool list of shows that I completely adore. Just because I've left them off as well, it just means there's literally a singular hair, just a little bit of dust in between favouritisms and shit. And to be fair, this is the list I could do in a year's time, and after I've rewatched maybe one of these shows and they've moved up position or maybe they've dropped out and something else is coming and whatnot. I think a lot of it comes down to recency bias as well. Depends how recent you've watched something, you'd love for it goes up a bit more. It's a pain in the fucking ass, but it's a fun list. But more importantly, visuals, I want to know your favourite TV shows of all time. Now, this is every TV show of all time, whether we're talking an animated kids show or a documentary series or whatever, an anime, whatever the fuck it is. As long as a TV show, a show with episodes, I haven't included Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. That's the only things that I didn't think could really, because I know they're weekly episodic TV shows, but I didn't think it, because it's like sports, entertainment, I don't know, it felt like it shouldn't be part of it. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. That was very camp, wasn't it? Oh, I'm a camp boy. Let me know in the comments below if I should have maybe included them, but I can see me rambling to fuck here, so we better get started, visuals. But like I said, please let me know yours in the comments below, and let me know what you think of my list, if you've seen all these shows, if you like these shows and whatnot. But here we go, visuals, my 10 favourite shows of all time. Off at number 10, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I cannot explain enough how much I enjoy this friggin' show. I'll probably admit in saying Charlie is one of the biggest or the whole gang are, from D to Mac to all of them. All of them are huge driving forces for this show, but Charlie is just someone that I friggin' adore Charlie so much. But I love this show because, one, it's binge-worthy. Whenever I want to quickly go back when I'm between shows or not playing anything game, or I'm free and I think, okay, let's do another show, I quite often do How I Met Your Mother and stuff, which we'll come to later on in this list. And stuff like that. Sunny is always one of the ones that I'll always go back to as well. Plus, I love how it originally started with how it looked and how low quality, low budget it is to where it got to now. But more specifically, I love the weird situations the whole gang finds them into. The whole dynamic of saying these weird, you should be cancelled for words, but they're doing it and it's all working. And like, obviously I can't say it in this context, but the Danny DeVito shouting at Mac thing going on, that was absolutely fucking hysterics. The stuff of the implication, and, you know, Max thinking, what the fuck are the implications? And the scenarios and the crazy over the top things that are happening there, it's so absolutely fucking funny. And I think it's probably, to be fair, one of the biggest shows of all time. I know it's highly rated and whatnot, and it's really, when it took off from day dot, I think it did. I don't think it ever had any issues with eventually getting cancelled or stopping it out. My only disappointment was the newest series being so short. That's my only gripe against it. But yes, It's Always Sunny in at number 10. 9 is How I Met Your Mother. Now, I would like to have this higher up, but I think most fans feel the same about season 9 falling off. I still enjoyed season 9, and the death of the mother, spoiler alert, it's not like I didn't hate that avenue because of the way he tells. It always makes me well up a bit when he says, I was, even there from when your mother got sick and stuff, and he's going for all the, like, the Sunday naps and the Christmas mornings and all that, and the way he's recapping it all, it was kind of nice and beautiful at the same time as being heartbreaking because somebody died and shit. So season 9's its own sort of thing going on, but the overall series is just so much fun. Chris has it with Big Bang Theory. The rewatch and the replayability is just something that's just so comforting and cozy. If I'm ever doing a massive Lego set, I quite often just put How I Met Your Mother on. And depending on how big the set is, I might get through the first season, or maybe the first couple of seasons. Again, depends how slow I'm building and whatnot. And then I just end up going back to it. I fall asleep to it. I wake up from bed. I'm like, oh, it's still on and shit. But the situations that Barney finds himself in, Ted doing all his little weird stuff, Robin doing her shit, Marsh and Lily just being one of the best couples of all time. But the thing that I love most about it is the story of, like, life, if that makes sense. The whole everything happens for a reason, little domino effects. The episode where Ted said, if I didn't go down here, and if I decided to get this cab instead, or if I didn't go down there and give the homeless guy $1 because of all these different things that happened, this domino effect of events, and this person was right around the corner. They had this, like, I love when him and Tracy have the umbrella and they say TM, Ted Mosby, no, this umbrella belonged Tracy Morgan to me. All that, it's like, oh my God, this is fucking beautiful. I know this story of life and how everything's planned and weaved in, whether or not you believe that's life or not. I just find a sense of comfort in the show, and again, enjoyability, because I'm still laughing. It's silly, it's dumb, it's, slap bets and that. Just love How I Met Your Mother. 8 is a British show called Brassic, which I have just recently watched for I haven't massively smashed it, maybe like the 3rd or 4th time, but Brassic is a phenomenal show. I might need to wet the old palate here. Brassic could be the best British show there's ever been, and that's including maybe over In-Betweeners. In-Betweeners is for me, a great British show, but Brassic's the story of a bunch of misfits with their own hard journeys in life, but finding family and togetherness with each other, but with some outstanding comedy. It's very British comedy. It's very British humour. I don't know if an American or somebody else could watch it and have the same feelings and the same thingy. But it's also very relatable. There's a few characters or a few circumstances or a few incidences that go in, and I think a lot of British, part of my girlfriend has no relatability to the show, but I see a lot of, I've met a character like that. I know a similar situation to that, and there's some weird situation side of the show. But I think the biggest thing to take away, apart from the humour, and there's a lot of heart in it, there's a lot of heavy moments, which again, some people might relate to some of the heavier moments and stuff. There's a lot of that. But Vincent O'Neill, Vinny as he gets called, he might be one of the best British characters to ever come from a TV show, potentially. Right, this is going to sound so stupid to anybody that's watched the show Brassic, but to me, I've always seen him as like a weird sort of multiverse, off-cut version of Peter Parker. Now, that might not make any sense until I explain it, because obviously he's not chucking webs, he's not, swinging around New York City and shit, but Peter Parker, we've seen so many times being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, getting the cat out of a tree, just helping somebody lift something into their local corner shop or whatever, just doing the small little things to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And Vinny goes around 110% being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man without the webs, because he'll go and, all right, of course he's a criminal, he's against the law, but it's not serious. Like, he won't steal from anybody that doesn't deserve it, or somebody that's poor. There might be fuck-ups and mistakes, and they've robbed the wrong person, but it's usually like rich people or people that have wronged them, or just bad people in general. But he makes, quite a the time, they'll do a scheme to help like a local community centre, or they'll do a scheme to help boost his friends so they can get a couple of quid so they can get this done. A lot of it is to help other people. It's, yes, sometimes it does benefit them and all this kind of stuff, but he's always going around making sure that the little people of this place that he's from are helped and looked after. The Christmas special is a phenomenal example of that. They do a robbery so the kids can have the nativity, but he's also looking after his doctor's auntie and shit like that. I won't say too much, obviously, about these shows. I don't want to spoil them too much, even though if you haven't watched How I Met Your Mother, I just said, yeah, the mother dies. But yeah, he goes around just helping these small people who at the time can't help themselves. Even the people inside of his group, he's always looking after, and he's making sure they're all right and they've got what they need. And if they need anything, he'll help them. Even when people fuck up and cause issues, he's always like, don't worry about it, don't worry, we'll figure out, we'll sort it. He's just such a loving and caring character, but he's also got his own massive issues that he's going on through life. And I don't know, I think he's such a wonderful character, and it's such a wonderful and great and amazing show. So yeah, Brassic. 7, Sons of Anarchy, which when it first got announced and first appeared, I was like, what the fuck? We've got Charlie Hunter, we've got Pete Dunne, Green Street, you know, oh, forever blind, but now he's an American biker with hair and wearing Nike Air Force Ones and shit. It just looked crazy, but I watched it and again, completely fell in love. Now, I know, I believe it or not, I'm not a biker. I don't know how to ride a motorcycle. I'm not some part of a motorcycle club or anything like that. But apparently they were not happy with the show, which I guess it's the life that this show's trying to replicate. So if they're not happy, they must have got something wrong. But as somebody that doesn't come from that world, I had so much fun with this show. The in-depth, entangled stories of, you know, whether they're crossing paths for a bit with the Mayans or just shit with the IRA, from Jax's boy being kidnapped and us going over to Ireland and stuff. The stuff with the police and undercover things, the murders, the inside the clubhouse betrayals, Triggs' daughter episode in the bit, Jesus fucking Christ, that was a heavy episode. The stuff with Clay and, you know, being original founding member and stuff like that, but going on, what happens to him, the stuff with his mum, and oh my god, it was a show full of so many twists and turns, and it was constantly when a season ends or an episode ends, you're like, on to the next, and it's one, I've got the full box set, and I sat and smashed through all of the series, and well, not all, I think at the time when I first bought the first cut, I think there was like 3 seasons out, and or maybe 4. I think I got like a box set with the first few, and then I had to wait for them to come out on DVD and shit like that, because I didn't actually watch any of them online. I think I watched them all on DVD, which is crazy. But yeah, just a show that was just so friggin' fun and so amazing, with a great feel, ran through this world, so badass. Sons of Anarchy was so friggin' good. I don't know how much, what the fuck, I don't know how much of this I need to ramble on about, because I think it's something I've talked about quite a lot, but it's Dragon Ball. But now, whether we're talking Super, GT, Dragon Ball Z itself and whatnot, yeah, I've got this as number 6. I mean, yeah, we are at number 6. I was just double checking I was at the right fucking spot there. But yeah, Dragon Ball being such a huge, not only like now with, you know, I love Goku, Vegeta and stuff like that, and the whole crew, Piccolo, Krillin, whoever we're talking about, I love Dragon Ball, but growing up, it was like, alongside Spider-Man and stuff, he was, Goku, speaking to, was one of my, like, early life heroes of, like, oh, Kakarot, you know, Kakarot needs my help to make a spirit bomb, or, oh my god, he's going to turn into Legendary Super Saiyan, actually turn into it, eating my beans on toast as a kid, losing my fucking mind, thinking, what the fuck is going on? Frieza just be like, oh my god, he's going to kill everybody, how are we going to get out of this? Then seeing fucking Super Saiyan Goku and shit like that. But a show that's carried on for years and stuck with we've had films that I've gone to the cinema to see on opening weekends and shit like that, from watching it all in the sub to then waiting for it to go out in the dubbed and redoing it again, from having a couple of volumes of the manga and stuff, from just Goku being one of the best characters there has ever friggin' been, and a guy that's just so happy and wants to protect everybody, but loves a good scrap and stuff in his face. Dragon Ball's a show that will always live on, plus it's so culturally, you know what I'm trying to fucking say, impactful. Everybody knows about the look of Goku, the orange, whatever you call them outfits again, I can't remember, to people saying it's over 9,000 on the t-shirt and stuff like that. It's just, it's such a friggin' great, beautiful, amazing anime. People talk about the big anime, the big 3, and I am fairly willing to admit that this isn't the conversation of the big three because it's above the big three. Whether or not you can, I don't want to get to some anime debate in the comments. If you don't like Dragon Ball, you don't like Dragon Ball. I'm not here to debate you and argue with you. You're not wrong, you're not right, I'm not wrong, I'm not right. It's just our particular animes. But I just think I think it's helped all animes because of how big and successful it is to celebrities wearing merch of it and stuff like that, and people mention it and references and cosplayers and stuff like that. It's just, yes, the live action film was bad fun. I don't mind watching that film because I have a good time laughing at it, but it is fucking horrendous. But yeah, I don't know, Goku just sort of being installed in me. I remember watching episodes and going to school the next day and being like, you know, when they do the crazy fight and then fucking calm and just doing all that kind of, it's like, you can just see his little gold hair to having statues and little figures of Goku and Vegeta and whatnot just spread out around the house. Dragon Ball was just friggin', like I said, in any form you want, whether it be Super, whatever, Z, anything, it's so friggin' cool. We have for number 5. I can't find for number fucking 5. Oh, number 5 is Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, if I have to be specific and give an actual part of Yu-Gi-Oh! For me, it would be GX because Jaden is my favourite duelist. Adding superheroes into cards in the form of elemental heroes blew my friggin' mind. I'm like, oh my, yes, we've got superheroes in cards. To the theme tune, chilling out with the crew and this. Oh my god, what an amazing! It's still my alarm tone to wake up to this friggin' day. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Once again, coming in from school, leaving school, watching an episode and going to the shop and getting a couple of packets and going to school the next day and training them and dueling and, you know, dueling now. I don't duel as much now because there's nobody I can really duel with or whatever. I've tried to get my girlfriend to learn it. She didn't mind it, but I don't know if it was too complicated for her. The newer rules, I will admit, anybody who wants to get to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, it's a bit fucked with pendulums and XYZs and all this kind of stuff. I understand if it's like, okay, this is a shitload of information. What am I doing? It was a much simpler time, but Yu-Gi-Oh's always been a fun rewatch. I can happily sit down and rewatch Zexal or 5Ds or just the original series and stuff. We can go to Duelist Kingdom, Duelist Island, whatever the fuck we call it again, and just see all the shit that's going down there. Peg Yu-Gi, my boy, watching all of that stuff. It's just so fun and comforting and warm, and it's just fun to interact with this show that I watch constantly on a daily basis, regularly, all the time. Once again, have a couple of the mangas, and also interact with itself. So seeing the cards in the show, Elemental Hero Avion's been chucked out. I'm thinking, I've got that fucking card, and just so much friggin' fun. I've lost hours and hours and hours playing with the cards and dueling friends, and I've lost hours watching the show. It's obviously, for me, I understand it's when people talk about the greatest animes, it's not in the overall conversation, but for me, it's one of the best animes ever done. Anything to come from the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just beautiful. Last anime on the list is Pokemon. I definitely don't have to drone on too long about this. We all know I love Pokemon. We all know that Pokemon is a huge part of my life. I have so much love for it from my childhood to now, to still playing the games and Scarlet and Violet and stuff and collecting the cards. You know, that's the bookshelf. There's the current run of the cards, to going back and looking at the old cards. So I always point to the bookshelf like you can see shit. You can't fucking see anything, I'm sorry. We all know how much I love Pokemon. Yes, it was a little bit, hi doggy, you come to chill. A little bit of a hard pill to swallow when they got rid of Ash and he had his farewell. Fuck me, I cried my absolute little fucking heart out. Just Pikachu going up against Charizard and the music kicking in. You know, how iconic the original tune is and stuff. But Pokemon's a show that I will always love. I will always watch. I'm watching Horizons. I'm doing it all, you know, Fuecoco doing it. Shit, it's called Horizons, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it is. Every adventure we've been on, whether we're going through Black and White and that, or, you know, with Ash's sidekick being Iris, maybe, or we've got stuff with Serena, whatever the hell it is, what story, wherever we want to be, it doesn't fucking matter. Pokemon, with its different many, like I said, theme tunes, Pokemon Johto, do-do-do-do-do, or fucking wants to be a master. That's Pokemon Johto. Why am I only singing the one friggin' song? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Loads of great intros and theme songs and theme tunes and shit to great, stupidly great, amazing episodes and battles. I'll always go back to the X and Y battle, Mega Charizard versus Ash Greninja. I love seeing the newer stuff, the Alolan stuff, Ash eventually getting a title, and then going over to Galar and, you know, doing the stuff with Leon and shit like that. The early stuff, Ash losing out, but the Ash against Gary, you know, thinking, oh my god, Blastoise against Charizard. Charizard, what the fuck's happening here? Pokemon, the TV show, will always be a massive part of my life because Pokemon will always be a massive part of my life, and I friggin' love that show. Like I mentioned before about like How I Met Your Mother and stuff, I will happily go back and watch Pokemon and just sit there in bed or have it as background noise, and it just puts me in a place of familiarity and comfort and coziness and back in like a safe place. A beautiful show. Number 3 is The Walking Dead. Now, I went from reading the comic books and loving it, and watching the show and loving it. Now, I'll quickly get the only negatives out of it. I love The Walking Dead. Yes, there are some episodes that are a bit slow, and some parts that are a little bit dragged out, but overall, absolutely edge of my seat. What the fuck, you know, cliffhangers went on. We're gonna wait for next season shit. I don't know if I've seen another show where I've been that on the edge of my seat for, apart from maybe one other, which we still need to get to. The only negative is they should have let the show end. This is where I contradict myself, okay? Quick swag. I love the show with all my heart, but it should have ended sooner than it did. I love the spin-offs we've got with Rick, with Michonne, Daryl and Carol doing their thing, and Maggie and Negan. I've enjoyed them shows. They've been really good. Didn't really love Fear of the Walking Dead. That wasn't great. Tales from the Walking Dead was fun, but even though I got them and I really loved them, it was great seeing Rick again and shit like that. I had so much fun. I still, to this day, now feel like we should have had all that in the main show, and the main show should have ended. It's kind of turned some of its own fans against it because of how long it's run, and people are like, Jesus Christ, it's still going. Anyway, that's my only negatives and downside. Overall, as a show, oh my frigging God, I have never been so just drawn in when a theme tune hit. That was a horrible attempt at the theme tune, but so engrossed, whether it's the stuff with Shane and Rick, you're like, oh my God. Again, I did come from reading the comic books, but I read the comic books sort of kind of start to the middle-ish as the show was going on. I hadn't read them all. I keep pointing to the comic books will be in these boxes somewhere. But reading the comic book and the show starting and not quite finishing the comic and shit like that. But getting to issue, it was 100 when they eventually killed off, you know, who they killed off without spoiling shit. But seeing the showdown with Shane, the stuff with the governor at the prison, Negan obviously being, for me, the best and one of the best characters, but the best baddie, the Whisperers doing their shit, stuff at Terminus and eating some tainted meat and all that shit, just having the best friggin' time, like I said, on the edge of my seat, what's going to happen next, the lineup with Negan, me being like, well, in the comics, it's this, trying to be one of them people, but, you know, the way the show still played out, from characters like I said, from Negan being amazing, Andrew Lincoln's Rick being phenomenal, Daryl being a new character to the show, but the gift to Norman because he did such a great job, and they've like, we need to make a character for you. Maggie being great, Carol's story arc going from the tragedy of what was her marriage of domestic abuse and all that stuff, to seeing how much of a badass she is now. You do not fuck with Carol. The governor, outstanding. Glenn, everybody falling in love with Glenn. The only real character from the show that kind of did my head a little bit was Carl, but I've always got a thing with families and zombie shit, because I'm always thinking it's the families that are annoying. But I know you'll do whatever you can to protect him and shit, but you know, when somebody's got a family who's going to be in a situation where they're like, oh, my son or whatever, there's my great aunt dear Dorothy, I need to help her, and then it puts them in parenting thinking, just go. But that's coming from somebody that doesn't have kids or else, fucking no. But The Walking Dead just being, when it was at its peak, it was at peak television, it was at peak storytelling, it was episodics, and you were on the edge of your seat, you were talking throughout the week about to your mates, and what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen here. I would always get up an extra hour early before work, so I could watch The Walking Dead and then go to work. Even if I was a bit tired, I was like, doesn't matter, I'll watch The Walking Dead. Like, speaking about people that work with it and shit. It's such a phenomenal show. Toi is The Boys. Yes, I fucking love The Boys. We've got the comics being absolutely fantastic and a bit more nitty gritty, like carnage than the show. The show is still nitty gritty carnage, don't get us wrong. But I think I actually prefer the show to the comic. I'm not 100% decided on that, but I think, like, if I were to just say it, I think I do. But I love this show as well. When new episodes drop on Amazon, when a new series drops, yes, we've got one more series to come, which in a way is good, because unlike Walking Dead, it knows that, okay, one more and away we go. We've got spin-offs and shit in the way, that's fine, because we can have one or two series of a couple of spin-offs. No worries, but we don't have to be drawn out as long as the Walking Dead was. But because the boys is involved in a world that I adore so much, the world of superheroes and comics and these mighty, larger-than-life characters and shit, and just to everything we know about it and just say, it's your good guy, that's your Superman. Yeah, well, he's a rapist, murderous, terroristy sort of maniac, fucking egocentric lunatic. Yeah, don't worry, he's going to smash it up. And then our hero being this motley crew of abandonment and loss and tragedy and their own traumas and shit. And it's just fucking crazy seeing it all go to head. Just absolutely nuts. I love the world of the boys so friggin' much, from a cockney geezer with a crowbar going up against the guy who's got the American flag as a cape. A guy that's having, I know the Deep, and like I said, the Deep's different from how he is in the comic, and A-Train's, you know, slightly different and whatnot. But like, if we're just speaking about the show, obviously, because we're about the TV shows, not the comics, but the guy, why did just for all like that? This guy who loves aquatic animals, like quite literally the stereotype of Aquaman being like, you fuck fish, and yeah, quite literally this fish guy fucks fish and stuff like that. To being crazy, the character change of A-Train from starting off how he did to completely fall in love with him, thinking, I hope you don't die now in future seasons, the way that went. Frenchie and Kimiko finally getting that kiss and just loving it, from Starlight doing her thing, and MM, I fucking love MM. Black Noir, absolutely love Black Noir throughout the whole thing, from quiet to loudmouth talky Black Noir. Absolutely phenomenal. The Boys, for me, is the greatest live-action TV show there has ever been. Me, personally, I just love the politics of it. I love the drama of it. I love the action. I love the comedy. I even love, a lot of people didn't like, my girlfriend said it got a bit annoying because the newer season replicated life a bit too much with the whole left and right divide and thingy. But I personally adored that, because we had this real-life debate of real-life left and right and liberals and all that kind of stuff, and everyone's arguing and shit. And I love that we have this real life argument. Let's include a maniac, psycho, fucking lunatic Superman. And let's go, let's add the cockney geezer and we'll chuck that into the mix. I fucking love that cocktail, because it made boring, plain, stupid, adult, normal life about real life world issues, which do need talked about. I'm just too much of a fucking idiot to understand and comprehend and get bored with. And let's make it a comic book version. And I'm like, oh yeah. Add the superheroes in, I'm fucking in. You've sold me. You had the superheroes in the real life world debate, I'm in. It's my stupid noggin, I know, but I fucking love it. One I'm not going to harper on for too long about, because I know this video is already going to be too long, but it's South Park. So of course, South Park. I fucking love Matt Stone, Trey Parker, how long they've been going, the story they've told in South Park, how, I never know if I phrase this correctly, but how they have their pulse, my girlfriend's gonna be sick of it because she's heard me say this a million times, their pulse on like culture, the finger on the pulse of culture, they just get it. I feel like they get life completely. They're taking the piss out of everything and everyone, from no matter what political view you are, from no matter what race or religion or themselves or what country. Everybody is putting in a bowl, and today we're taking the piss out of you. Today we're taking the piss out of you. They're taking the piss out of us. They just get it. They're not taking life too seriously. That you can tell they're having a good time. Well, behind the scenes they might be stressing making episodes and stuff. Doing stuff. The only thing I don't really like about South Park is the newest game. It was fine, but yeah, that's all it was just fine. But the South Park, the show, the films, everything else we've got from Matt Stone, even the stuff like Team America and shit, it's just peak. It is, honestly, it's just peak. Yes, there's one or two episodes that might dip and dive. That series might be better than that series and shit. But on a plane, there's nothing I don't like about South Park apart from the newest game. Which even now I'm like, it's okay. But yeah, South Park they're just phenomenal. Cartman, Kenny, Kyle, Stan, the weird situations we've got, and the how embedded they are to pop culture with Mr. Hanky, yeah, Christmas pool, okay, and drugs are bad, okay, oh my god, you kill Kenny, you bad. It's just part of everything I love. Plus I have this obviously this love to like 90s sort of shit with Scream, Pokemon, South Park, this weird array of different age genres and all that kind of shit. But yeah, South Park's just, when there's a new special or a new series, I'm straight on. I don't think I'll ever not love South Park, and I don't think I'll ever not laugh at it. Yes, people can take the piss, and I completely understand when people say they don't like South Park because of this style of animation, because the voice of Eric Cartman's annoying and shit like that. But the message they have to say and what they speak about, I feel like I agree with. Once again, big dum-dum, don't understand political points of views and world issues and shit like that. But when they explain it and break it down, they say that, I feel like, yeah, I just get what you're on about. Yeah, and I know it's always easier said than done, but I just feel like the way that the world is, they understand it, and they're just like, well, just come on, yeah, come on, what the fuck are we doing? And I just feel like I get it, but again, I might just be getting it in there because I'm a big fucking fat idiot. But yeah, don't need to ramble on too much. We all know how much I fucking love South Park. That's number one. Drag out the outro visuals as I drag it out by adding an extra swag of coffee. But visuals, that is my favourite TV shows of all time. Please let me know yours in the comments below. I definitely want to know. But more importantly, apart from that, thank you so much for watching, you beautiful bunch of bastards. We'll always keep being you and keep on web slinging on.